Master Coach U's Legacy Video Training Series 8. This is 4 of 4. Namaste. On this, the last video in this series, I will explain how HuMethod Spiritual Life Coaches use the coach's textbook, The 7 Spiritual Truths, to teach their coaching clients that when they feel emotionally triggered, how to use this book like a compass to navigate their way back to feeling safe, sound, and secure again in the world. The seed that germinated the 7 spiritual truths was planted way back in 1992 before I even opened Holistic Learning Center, when I wrote an article for the Holistic Times magazine to help awaken the holistic community why we need to co-create a critical mass to help save the humans. Critical mass, or what some people refer to as the tipping point, is a miraculous process of evolution and a scientific fact. Critical mass happens when a specific percentage of a species performs a behavior pattern unique to that species. I've heard different scientists say what it is, but it's someplace between 9 and 11%. We must co-create a critical mass of humans who are spiritually awakened enough to grok that we are all one in spirit. When we do this, we will begin to act as one, and we will naturally stop polluting and unjustly treating all forms of life, including humans, of course, and instead begin to work together to save the humans, along with all the other species on the planet. Unbeknownst to myself, the Save the Humans article, way back in 1992, steered my karmic boat down a river that led my staff and me to undertake 4 decades of research that ended in us discovering the universal truths of light and love contained in the 7 Spiritual Truths 8 chapters. The 7 Spiritual Truths The 7 spiritual truths do not belong to any one soul or religion. They have been passed down from one spiritual teacher to another for millenniums. And they did not originate with me or my staff. These transformational truths were designed to be a spiritual guidance system anytime you feel lost or psycho-spiritually disconnected, to help you navigate out of this mental labyrinth we call life, just like a divine compass would. The 7 Spiritual Truths, spiritual life coaching textbooks, was written to guide you back to your inner self. These truths will guide you away from the 24/7 ego mind chatter that we all experience, and back to listening to your intuitive heart. But be warned. These empowering spiritual truths have a tendency to scare people because they collide with your ego-based, fixed programming and negative beliefs, which for most of us, including me, are fear-based and self-defeating. The 7 spiritual treats, the 7 spiritual truths need to be shared with your life coaching clients and loved ones, because so many of us were raised by caretakers who were ignorant of how the laws of life work. Might have loved us, but they couldn't give us what they didn't understand. As a result, we were programmed to believe that pain, poverty, and loss is a way that life is supposed to be. These truths contain ancient wisdoms that can teach you and your coaching clients how to transcend self-limiting beliefs that dominate our culture. That's because by taking birth, you have chosen to embark upon an exciting and incredible journey home to your inner self. It's a journey towards conscious ownership of your divine birthright. Sadly, life is filled with many painful life lessons, as you all know. And these lessons have to be learned, and the karma along that comes along with them needs to be burned. Lessons learned, karma that needs to be burned. Because of this painful fact, you can choose to point the finger and assign blame, and try to make your caretakers or someone else guilty. Or you can learn to live with your incorrect programming that unfortunately taught you to think that you're bad or wrong or not good enough or lazy or broken, etc. And incorrectly program you to play the blame, shame, victim game. Or you can learn how to use the 7 spiritual truths to teach you and your coaching clients how to use your godlike abilities to discreate your negative beliefs and instead consciously create new energizing beliefs that will help you and your coaching clients create a life to act on the earth plane as an abundant, emotionally mature adult. The 7 spiritual truths prove that if you keep ignoring your negative beliefs, they will line up like dominoes. Then when you get emotionally triggered, it will activate the domino effect. And your issues will create negative chain reactions that will surface your historical, negatively conditioned responses that'll make you feel sad, angry, depressed, and unworthy, and keep asking yourself, why is this happening to me again? To quote Carl Jung, until you make the unconscious conscious. That's the famous, of course, psychologist, right? Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and your ego mind will call it fate. We discovered the 7 spiritual truths deep within the research of the most magnanimous spiritual leaders, teachers, gurus, and philosophers of the last 2,500 years. And we now pass these empowering universal truths to you. But you need to do the required inner work to form the habit of referring to the 7 spiritual truths when you feel emotionally triggered, like a compass, to navigate out of your incarnational labyrinth so that you and your coaching clients can create a life that the gods themselves would envy. The next video starts a new video series, number 9, which will teach you how to train your ego mind to be your servant. If you resonated with what I shared about the coach's textbook, The 7 Spiritual Truths, and you'd like to own a copy, you can just call the office at 888-HLC-0878-9 Eastern Standard Time, or visit the website at www.holisticlearningcenter.com. Then click on the top link, you'll see Coaching Store, and that'll bring up another series of top links. On the second level, you click on Coaching and Marketing Books, and that'll bring you to all the books, including this one. Thank you, my friends. Namaste.